The origin story of a troublemaking Estella who evolves into a Cruella.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 147.
Oh, we're almost at 150.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's true. What, are we going to do anything special?
Nah.
Probably not.
Dang.
But that's okay.
We're doing something special right now.
That's-
We're recording in the daytime.
That's right. The sun is out. My knees is out.
That's the thing. If
it's a
Andre's
beautiful
knees
day.
are out of pants, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's hot.
It's
Yeah,
hot
it's been like 100 degrees over here.
Indeed.
Last week, so ew.
out here in sunny California. This week, we are talking about the brand new 2021 live-action Disney film, Cruella.
Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. When did we?
But it's called DeVille.
When did we do this? 101 Dalmatians.
That's a good question that
That
I
was a long
don't
time
have
ago,
the
right?
answer to.
It was a
quite
while
yet.
ago. And I remember when we did that episode, I was so impressed with 101 Dalmatians because, I mean, I watched it as a kid and liked it, but then rewatching it as an adult, I was like, this is a really good movie.
It was very good.
The
I feel like
animated
we
one,
did
yes.
that like forever ago.
We did that on episode 31 in
Oh.
May of 2018.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. It was a while ago.
It was quite some time ago.
It was a bit. It was a bit.
Head on back to episode 81 to find out what we thought about.
Was it 31 or 81?
You said 31.
31.
And you just said 81.
Oh, I just said 81?
I mean, hey, you could do 81 too. I don't know what it is.
I was thinking
but-
of 2018 and 31 and a couple
Oh,
of wires got
no.
crossed in there. But yeah,
Fine.
we talked about Pongo and Perdita and the whole Dalmatian crew
Yeah, we did.
back in episode 31. Literally
Yep.
over 100 episodes ago.
Now we're doing this one.
Yes, Cruella. This is the brand new Maleficent style Disney villain as the hero of the story movie starring Emma Stone. We got another Emma in there, Emma Thompson. And who else is in this
There's also
movie?
like an Emily or something. I was laughing.
Yes,
There's lots of M.
There's Emma Stone, Emma Thompson, Emily Beecham plays the mom. Mark Strong plays John the valet, and
You mean M Strong?
M Strong.
Yeah, there has to be another Emily or another M.
Emma Thompson, Emma Stone, Emily Beecham, and M Strong. Yes, all of them are in this movie. And then the homies, Joel Fry played Jasper, and Paul Walter Hauser plays Horace. And I liked both of those dudes.
Yeah, me too.
Dude,
A lot.
Jasper is liked him a lot.
I liked both of them.
They were funny.
Horace was funny.
All right, Lou, go ahead and give your first impression because you were. Give us your pre-impression and then your first impression.
Oh, okay.
Good idea.
He had a pre-impression.
I was afraid she was gonna talk the whole time like that one emperor from the Jar Jar Binks world. That goes.
What?
In one commercial.
In one commercial that I see, she's like, "My name is Cruella."
Oh my
She
god.
literally
It
went,
literally sounded like that to
Cruella.
me. I thought that was. Hey, they
Thought that was gonna be the new voice?
One word.
I have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
literally
Okay.
that's how it sounded to me when she said it, and I thought it was so freaking annoying. I was like, man, she better not be talking like that the whole
Dude,
time.
yeah,
But
Cruella
it
the
literally
Gungan
sounded
King.
like,
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay.
Jeez.
That was his pre-impression. He did not want to watch this because of that
Because
commercial.
he thought there was
I
going to be
never
some
said
Star
that.
Wars
If you
prequel
guys-
antics.
She's from London. I mean,
If you
or
were-
England.
have been listening to me for the past 2 minutes, I said I was saying I hope she doesn't talk like that the whole time.
Right. And she didn't.
I was living
And she
with him,
did.
and he didn't want to watch it. But go ahead.
That's not. That's always.
So-
Just never listen to Lou.
That was your pre-impression. What's your first impression?
Freaking love the movie. It's
Okay. All right.
That's very good. All right, Andre, first impression.
I also like this movie a lot. Like I was, I wasn't sure what to expect from it because I like Maleficent, but at the same time there are a lot of these live actions that have not been living up to any of our expectations. Mulan. So So going into this, I was like, I don't know, this might be kind of bad. And then it started off a little slow. They're like, hey, here's 20 minutes where she's a little girl. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. She's a little troublemaker, but I think once Emma Stone like gets on screen, and she is narrating the whole time, by the way, as well. But once she gets on screen, then the movie really takes off, and I really like her performance the entire way through in both of her Estella and Cruella characters. I think she does a great job. They're both like very Emma Stone roles, and I think she made quite the right choice with picking this project and being the lead. So overall, two black thumbs from this one over here.
All right. I basically quite agree with Andre. I wasn't super excited for this movie, only because I just like to keep my expectations low for live action Disney stuff now so that I'm not disappointed. And I'm not huge on Emma Stone. Like, I've seen her in a ton of things, but she's not like my favorite per se. But I think the whole first scene where she was a kid kind of threw me off. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this. Because, like, the fact that she was born with the black and white hair, and then they were making the Dalmatian seem really evil, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this twist. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it does. Spoilers for Cruella, by the way.
Well,
you guys know how it works.
They're listening to the podcast. Okay. So I wasn't sold, and then thank goodness once Emma Stone got on screen and it...
But those
like,
Dalmatians were evil, okay?
Oh,
they were.
I was
But I
very
wasn't
afraid.
about that at first. I was like, is that supposed to be Pongo and Perdita? You know, like I was trying to like figure it out where I was like, what's going on? This is throwing me off, you know? But the movie was very, very good. I really liked it, and I might have liked it more than Maleficent, even.
Yeah.
So it was very, very good. Emily.
I'm going to just say best live action.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
Hands down.
best live action, best live...
Down, cheeks down, everything down.
I don't want to know which cheeks. But
All right.
You know it's cheeks.
I'm going to say best live action and best live action villain backstory. I mean, I
Right.
guess there's only two now.
Yeah, I think that's
But
it.
I really liked it. I thought, that was the other thing, is Luis's pre-impression was that it was going to be steampunky. And he's not huge on steampunk.
I don't like steampunk. Like, make a choice. Either live in the past or live in the future.
They did like punk rock revolutionary.
punk,
I love
era.
grunge. I
Yeah.
love
Right,
grunge.
yeah,
I
so
love
it's
punk.
60s London, baby.
Yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
or the
70s.
London, the English punk scene is pretty legit.
It's much cooler than what we tried to do in the United States. So,
Sure.
but it's like dirty without being dirty. Do you know what I mean? Like, not actually.
It's the
like,
cleanest dirty.
Yeah.
Like grunge.
Yeah. So anywho, I really liked it. I thought it was great. My favorite part of it, I mean, obviously the costuming was fantastic.
Costuming was
that was
off the-
honestly
off the hook.
part of the storyline, but it was gorgeous to look at.
Right.
But the music, like the soundtrack itself, was just unreal.
The soundtrack was insane.
I was
because-
singing every time a song came on.
Yeah, so
Literally.
I was like, hey, this has a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
I said it a couple times. I was like, okay, how they get the rights to all these songs?
For sure, it was
They're
good.
pulling the Guardians of the Galaxy here.
Yeah,
they did.
Exactly. That's how good it feels, basically. Every song is like a boom, this is the most famous song you've ever heard. And then they hit you 5 minutes later with another song that's more famous than that
Oh
song.
yeah,
It's like,
and
wow.
they're like bangers for the scene,
Yeah,
like
for the
they're
situation.
very
era.
For
It's
sure.
done well.
Yeah.
You keep saying you got something for me.
I really love the face you're making singing that. Plus, the characters, the side characters, were as strong as Emma Stone was.
I think so
Yeah,
too.
for
like
sure.
there was no characters where I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like they all were really good.
Because like okay, the movie starts. She's a kid or whatever, and she meets up with Horace and Jasper as
because
a
the mom
child,
dies.
right? Because the mom
Well,
dies.
we'll get into
into the
that.
plight, but I'm just saying specifically for that. I was at first I was like, oh, she meets her little henchman when she's a kid, and then she treats them like that in 101 Dalmatians. That's weird. But seeing the story of how she transforms and changes her relationship with these two guys and how they change their relationship with her.
It's because
is-
she's certifiably insane.
Yeah,
But, I mean, we always knew that about Cruella from the other movies, too.
But it was really cool. I like that aspect of it.
I always knew Cruella was insane. I mean, we did the 101 Dalmatians, the cartoon one, where she's just a straight up awful in that. but I grew up watching the Glenn Close one, and there's scenes in that movie where she's trying to be good, and then like her hair will be all like pristine and pushed back, and then like a curl will pop out, it'll be like bling, and then her nails will get long, and then her shoulder pads pop out, and she'll be like, ah! I was like, oh yeah, she crazy. It's like she tries to hold it back, and then she's like, puppies. So I like that they did that still.
Before we move too much farther, I want to squash other people's bad reviews of this movie. So I've read a little bit in, and some people didn't like that she wasn't absolutely insane. Like, because in this
version,
like
humanized her character.
Yeah, that they made her more of a person.
But they did that with Maleficent.
Right? I kind of liked it because just because you have a bad childhood or just because you have like hard circumstances in your life doesn't mean you're going to come out psychotic.
Right. And if you're psychotic and you do bad things, you can't necessarily just blame it on having a bad childhood.
Right. So I think that this, like, the approach they took, like showing all of the events that led her to her kind of mini hysteria was really good. And I don't think she had to like kill dogs and get absolutely crazy to show that she had lost it.
Yeah.
And that she was like a hellion.
I didn't need her to be killing dogs. I always saw it in the animation when I was like, man, she's crazy. Who's gonna kill a dog?
I liked it more that she was disturbed rather than crazy.
Right.
Well, I think she's insane. She's just holding it back a little bit. If they made a second one, she'd probably be crazy.
I mean, she's got some mental health issues for sure. Yeah.
She seems bipolar, so I don't know.
She's really going through it in this.
She's got multiple personalities going on for a bit.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're born with black and white hair. Just flip and flop and flop. And
I
flip.
didn't like that, and I'll just say that straight up. I did not like that she was born naturally with the black and white hair. I thought that was the weirdest thing. I don't know why they did that. Like, it would have made more sense to me if she was like, I'm just going to dye my hair like this because it's cool and it stands out or whatever. I thought that was super, super weird that they did that, and I still don't get it.
In the artistic side of things, if you're meant to stand out in the world, why not be brought into the world as a standout?
Right. I just thought it was weird.
Just to differentiate
and that
her
threw me off
from
a
her
lot.
core, right?
When we were starting to watch and the baby came out and then it was a kid, I was like, what the heck? Why is her hair already that color? So that,
I just like
that
how they
really
pulled the
threw me
baby
off.
out by the leg, like, oh.
Yeah. Gross, a baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into that.
Okay, yeah. So the movie starts with Emma Stone narrating, and she's like, "This is a story about me." I can't do her.
Did she say something about like this when I died? It was like a Flynn
Yes.
Rider, like, this is the story of how I died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stella is born with black and white hair. She's raised by a single mom who tries to get her to like hold it together and be a good person and be normal and chill out a little bit, but she's got like a troublemaker side. So she goes to school, she meets her best friend Anita, and then she's just always getting into trouble. She's always getting marks in her record or whatever.
She's always beating up the boys and stuff.
Well, I mean, they're bullies, they gotta be taken down a notch or whatever. So she does that.
I just like that she's fighting boys. Like, she ain't trying to fight no girl. She's like, move over.
And Anita's always like, oh geez.
Yeah, she does that for quite some time. But she's also very interested in like clothes and fashion, and she's like dresses up with her mom and stuff like that. At one point, her mom, Estella, gets kicked out of school. She gets the last mark on her record or whatever. So they have to move away from this town that they're living in and go to London. And Estella's excited. She's like, this is dope. This is exactly what I've always wanted. I'm glad I got kicked out of that school. And her mom is like, this sucks. I have to move us and everything that we own and go beg and grovel for some money.
And in case you can't tell, we poor, girl.
Yeah, girl, we poor. So she goes to this swanky estate, and she's like, I just got to go in there real quick and ask for some money.
Stay in the car.
Stay in the car. Hold my family heirloom necklace that I'm gonna pass down to you one day anyway.
So hold on, before we go further, what did you think was going to happen here? Because I was thinking much more nefarious things were going to happen. But then again, it's a Disney movie, so I don't know what.
I didn't think murder was going to happen.
I think when they pulled up to the party, I thought that she would maybe.
I was waiting for some kind of murder at some point. It's a Disney movie. Like, come on, it's gonna happen.
Louise is like, some mom's dying today.
Nobody makes it out of a kid scene with their parents in fully intact.
I thought at this point in the movie, Emily, I had the entire movie already figured out. By the way.
Michelle was
And
calling
Andre
me
was really mad. He
at
was
every
like, I
step
don't
of the
think
way.
that's right. And I was like, no, it is.
So I think at this point,
So we're doing a Luis for
So
sure.
I don't want to like spoil it. Like, well, I mean, I want our listeners to experience this the way the movie went, just in case they haven't watched it yet. But I already knew. Like, as soon as she went to the state, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I literally already knew.
How interesting.
yeah,
I don't know
I
how.
thought she was gonna go inside and find some dude and be like, "Here's the dealio. I need some moolah."
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought.
Like, did you think like she was divorced from somebody?
Yeah,
or whatever?
I thought
Yeah.
that like the entire time I thought that the what is his name? I don't know. Like
The butler
the
dude?
butler
Mark
guy
Strong,
was
M.
gonna,
M. Strong.
Emma Strong
His name
was
is
gonna be
John
her
the Valet.
dad. Like
Right.
that in my
Andre
mind,
thought that.
So
I did think that as well.
So I was like, she's going to go in there and like plead and be like, our daughter is just having a hard time. Like, I know that you're working for whoever this person is, but like,
Oh, well, I should
We
say
got
I
to
didn't
go.
have it figured out at this point. I thought that she was going to her mom at that point.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
I thought like
yeah, it would have been, like,
Estella's
grandma
mom
or
was going
something.
to the grandma,
Sure.
like her mom,
Right.
to ask for money.
Sure.
But like
Some highfalutin.
maybe like 15 minutes later, I had it figured out. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
So at this point in the movie, when the mom is going into the party, I'm kind of thinking that like maybe Estella's gonna get dropped off here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mom is gonna have to leave her here and then disappear for a few years or something like that.
Oh,
and then she would be
pause.
raised evil or something like that.
Pause.
here.
That'd be
This
good.
is- okay, that's not what I thought the first time. Before they're driving in, remember what I said, Luis? Like, as they're driving into this, like, estate, I'm like, the mom is taking her to a mental institution. I'm like, she's taking her to the seaside mental institution.
Oh
We're
my
getting
gosh.
you some striped outfits to match your hair, homegirl.
Bye.
Okay.
And then I realized it was a party, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's
Yeah.
not. a
I
mental
knew she was going to some rich person to ask for money.
God, it made more sense after that because I was like, "This is a cruel-hearted mom. I thought you
Cruel.
loved her.
How dare you, mom?
I
So
love
yeah.
you so much. I gotta shut you away."
So none of that happened, right? Basically,
Thank God.
It turns out that this is a very swanky party, and Estella, she's told to stay in the car. She of course gets out. She's also found a small little puppy at this point, very cute. She found him in a dumpster.
Oh my gosh, that thing is so cute. Reminds me of Dougie, just like a little mutt on the
Yeah,
Kind
street.
of, yeah.
exactly. So the dog gets
that's
out.
cute.
She chases after him. They wind up inside the party, and it's not just a party; it's a fashion show. And Estella loses her mind. She's like, "This is exactly my kind of stuff right
This is where
here.
I'm trying to be."
This is where I'm trying to be." So she sees all of that happen, and then she's still getting into antics, and her dog is getting into antics. So the party is thrown askew. Chaos ensues, and the
Dalmatians,
dogs are called. And when the Dalmatians come out, they start chasing Estella, and so she runs out of the party to outside where
And these dogs are vicious.
they're big
Scary.
and scary and CGI teeth.
Yeah.
They're abound. And when she gets outside, she like hides behind a planter and sees her mom talking to a lady off in the distance by the edge of the cliff. And she ducks behind a planter. The dogs jump over her. She's like, "Oh snap! They missed me. That's nice." And then they immediately run directly towards the mom and push her off the edge of the cliff, and she's
And
dead.
You can bleep me, but I literally said out loud, "What the f?" Because I was like, wasn't expecting that at all.
I was not expecting it
Or
either.
it threw me off majorly. I was like, what is happening? Now they're making these nice Dalmatians seem like vicious dogs. So I
Aren't
wasn't.
Dalmatians pretty vicious?
I
though?
think they can be
Dalmatians are the most like hyper, like very
hard to train.
hard to train kind of dog. And so that's when these movies are coming out, people are like, please don't just buy a Dalmatian.
Right.
Like it's a very, 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 very hard dog to take care of. But in the animated movies, they make the Dalmatians seem so cute and
Oh,
nice.
God.
So I was like,
so cute.
oh, okay, they're doing that now.
So
All right.
I mean, I was
They took
thinking
him to a level.
like as soon as these Dalmatians pushed the mom off the cliff, I was like, oh, so this is where we're going. Is Dalmatians killed my mom? I will seek revenge upon
Yes.
Dalmatians
And then I was
for the
like-
rest of my life.
Yeah, and then I was
They
like,
must
oh,
die, and I
she's
will
gonna
wear their
kill-
fur as a trophy.
Yeah, she's gonna kill every Dalmatian in London.
It must be puppy genocide from here on out.
Yeah.
I swear.
So we were like, that's why
I was
she
like, oh,
hates
man.
Dalmatians.
They're really taking
Yeah.
this to a whole nother
Which
level.
they could have done that as well. That would have been very dramatic.
And you know that that's definitely in there, right? It's not like that's
But I
not a
think
part of it
would've
at
been-
all.
It wouldn't have been deep enough.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but if they
Dog.
wanted to do like a very accurate,
Poisonous.
silly depiction. Like you were said, some people were mad that she wasn't killing the Dalmatians. They could have done that, I guess.
But it would have been a short movie. Like, all right.
Pretty short,
bye,
yeah.
I
bros.
hate Dalmatians.
Dalmatians.
No, but she was more mad at herself. She was like, ooh, I just got my mom killed. Because
Right.
those puppies were after me, but they didn't hurt me. They hurt my mom.
Yeah. So
Which is a very kid-like way of
And Maurice
thinking,
was
you know?
like, oh, okay, she did. Bye, Mom.
hi, Mom, indeed.
Merde.
Pushed her over the cliff. That was rough.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I said that out loud. I was like, what just happened?
I
I
literally
could
couldn't
picture
believe
Emily saying, merde.
Merda.
Merde.
So
Yes, spots.
So mom is dead, and Cruella is very.
She runs.
Estella is very upset. She runs away. She drops her family heirloom necklace on the grounds of this estate. She hops into the back of a truck, and it takes her off to London. When she gets to London,
puppy.
she's her and her puppy.
What's her puppy's name? I don't know if they ever say.
Luis called it Benji the entire movie.
Because the other one is Pink or Clink.
It's
or
Wink.
Wink.
Wink, because he's got an eye patch on.
Luis was like, oh, I see why it's called Wink.
I kept thinking his name was Clink because he was like debilitated or something.
I mean,
You mean disabled?
disabled. Yeah.
Yo, Wink was my favorite. Okay,
was
I want Wink so bad.
So she takes her puppy, whose name I don't know. I can't.
I don't know if she ever
necessarily
says.
find it.
Benji.
Yes, Benji.
Benji, sure.
She takes Benji and she goes to London. She's like, well, I guess I'm an orphan. This kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to make it on my own. And she
She always
immediately
talks to the fountain like it's her mom, you know.
Because
Right.
they had said they were their first place in London was going to be at this
was
fountain.
to go to the fountain. Yeah, so that's where she went by herself.
Which is cool. I like fountains.
And at the fountain are these two grifter boys, Jasper and Horace, and they're
So cute.
They're adorable, and they're good at what they do. They're picking pockets. They're scamming people.
If you
they're
think about
wearing costumes,
the worst boys in London, there's definitely was orphans a lot in
Yeah.
London,
Sure.
and riff raff.
street rats.
They're
Yeah,
all
straight
street
up,
rats.
straight
And
up
they were
street
smart
rats.
ones, and they had like a cool. I think they were trying to ditch her, like they were trying to leave.
hardcore.
And and Horace is like, "We lost her," and Jasper's like, "Nah, she's no,
Me-
she's very smart."
Me and Michelle, we're watching the Harry Potter movies right now.
Yeah.
And Estella literally gloms onto these two boys like Hermione does
Mm-hmm.
to Harry and Ron.
Definitely, I know we were saying that we were like, "Oh well," she was just like, "I'm in your crew
Guess
now."
what? You're my friends, and now I'm the smartest person you know. Get
Hi.
ready to succeed in life,
Yeah.
boys. So that's what they do. They
With Wink and the dogs. I love that the dogs are always in on the hijinks.
oh yeah, they're crucial
Dogs are
parts
part of the shenanigans
of all of
for
their
sure.
heists.
They'd be nothing without those dogs. Without Wink,
Yeah.
always saving the day.
The raccoon.
What's the angle? Where am I putting Wink? You know. So they grow up.
So cute.
Right, this is the point where she transforms into Emma Stone. It's roughly 10 to 15 years later or whatever, and
they're still
she's
doing
an adult
riff-raff
now,
stuff.
and they are pulling all kinds of schemes. So
Like good
she's
ones.
using all of her design fashion knowledge to design them different costumes so
Costumes.
they can sneak into places and steal a bunch of crap. And they're really good at it. They're the Ocean's 3 of this movie or whatever.
Well, and they have so they moved original, like the kids had like a abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, a little
And-
Aladdin spot.
Yeah, and then they transformed it into like a pretty sick loft.
A nice studio apartment for
Like,
sure.
It was nice. The three of them up there living,
Mm-hmm.
watching their Tottenham game. Hello.
Boo.
Luis is like, of course they're watching Tottenham
She,
game.
I think
get
she,
that
when
out.
she's narrating it, she's like, "I make fashion and I steal things, and it's great."
Yeah, it's great, and she does love her life. She loves her homies, but at the same time, she longs for being like a legit fashion designer.
But I thought that was so cute for her birthday. That they stole her a cake, which was adorable.
Sorry, Judy.
But then he like basically hoodwinked into getting her a job.
Yeah, so
Because
Jasper,
they're always coming down from the ceiling on ropes.
Like
I
Mission
don't know
Impossible.
why is that like a villain thing, like a thief thing? Let's go from the ceiling.
Yeah,
on
you
a rope.
gotta come from the ceiling. You gotta
Got
wear
her a
black
job
outfit. Yeah,
at the fashion place.
yes. Jasper submits a job application for her and puts
Department
it in
store.
the approved
like
pile.
a Macy's or a Nordstrom, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a
Reminds me of a Nordstrom.
yeah, off the rack. What kind of place is that? Department store. A
Department store, yeah.
Yeah. So he gets her a job at this fancy place, and he's like, it's nothing crazy, but I know you
Entry
want to
level.
get your foot in the door, and we love you, so that's why we're doing this. And Horace is like, so what's the angle?
We want to
no
steal
angle.
all the stuff from
The angle's for
there.
her to live her life and stop having to grift with us, dummy. He's like, all right, but what's the angle? Hilarious. I really like Horace. I
That
think
was so funny.
he's my favorite of
Of the
three
two?
them.
Yeah, me too.
So she gets her job, and
that is a fantastic
it's
scene.
a really cool scene. They show you the entire department store. They
like
go
the front of the store.
from the front of the store, through the store, all the nice clothes, then into the back where all the employees are working,
And
through
the toilet.
around the corners, and then to the bathroom where Emma Stone is scrubbing the floor. And it's like,
that's
this
good.
is not fun. And she keeps trying to talk to the pompous manager with the biggest hair on earth.
Yeah, dude,
Luis,
his
you have to pick up your
hair.
mic because you have things to say.
That
His
guy is
hair.
funny, man.
He listen. No offense to your child, but his hair was just like Addie's hair when she popped out. Okay,
Oh my god.
big hair. Okay,
That's
He's
hilarious.
like 1 inch lower than the British guards outside of Buckingham
Yeah.
Palace. Okay.
Hilarious.
and this guy is just not giving her the time of day at all. Every time she's like, "Hey, maybe we could do something different over here," or "Hey, I have a design idea over here." He's like, "Shut up! Why are you talking? Keep cleaning."
He's like, clean the bathroom. Did
I
you
don't
clean
care.
this? She's like, basically like Cinderella up in there. And she's
Yeah.
like, yes, I cleaned everything. He's like, well, go do it again.
Don't rise above your station.
Forget that guy.
Yeah.
So she's working there for a little while, I would say. Horace and Jasper are kind of, they're still hanging out. They're doing their own grifts on their own. I
They
guess.
bring her lunch
They
and
bring her
stuff.
lunch and stuff, and she's pretty miserable here. And at one point, she meets them outside so they can give her lunch, and she gets trapped out there. She's in the alleyway where she was taking out the trash, and the door to get back into the back of the building does not open anymore. So she has to go around the front of the building, now covered in trash, and go through the front of the department store.
And she's yelling at the lady putting together the window display. She's like, you think that looks good?
Yeah, you're
Totally
stupid
paying
if you
that
think that looks good. Yeah, she's snapping right here. I think a little bit. She's got banana on her face.
I mean, yeah, if a garbage fell on my head, at that point, I'm done,
She had
know?
a slice of banana just chilling on her cheek.
Yeah, the guy's like, you have banana on your face.
And she touches the wrong side. The other side. It's really funny.
That was cute.
Yeah, so she goes in there. She's getting in trouble for selling the good name of the department store or whatever. And she's like on her last notice or whatever. He's writing her up. He makes her clean his office that night after the store has closed. So she's the only one that's gonna be there.
She finds a bottle of liquor, so that's cool.
She goes into his liquor cabinet, which
She's like, sick.
maybe this is why they don't have liquor at work anymore. is-
Right.
So that's your
Because of these kind of incidents.
these
all right?
kinds of employees.
Yeah.
She gets into the liquor cabinet. She cleans his office or whatever, and then she goes on a drunken walk through the department store, stumbles into the front window setting that she was
Window
criticizing earlier, and she drunkenly fashions it up.
She's like, oh, honey, I'll fix you.
So
Like talking to the mannequin all drunk.
Oh, it was good.
it was good. I'm telling you, Emma Stone is fun in this movie. Everything she
Yeah,
does.
that's probably the best movie I've seen her in.
So she wakes up the next morning
It literally cuts from her doing it to her on the floor.
on
That
the
was
floor.
bad.
It's like, oh, girl, you about to get fired. This
Yeah,
is not
Louis and I
looking
were
good.
like, oh.
You better get back to grifting because it's not looking good for you.
She had gone in and it was full of trash. The mannequin looked pretty good, but then I think she had gone with lipstick and written on the walls and
wrote
stuff.
like
She's insane. Yeah.
fashion should be fun or something like that. Something controversial on the window or whatever she wrote. And so the manager he comes in and sees her and sees the window display. It's like, oh! and as soon as he finds out that she has done this or whatever, and they drag her out, they also find out that the Baroness is on her way. And the Baroness is this big boss lady.
She's basically the
She's like
lady
Coco
from The
Chanel,
Devil
pretty
Wears
much.
Prada.
Oh.
Right. That's the other thing about
I kept
this movie.
comparing this to Devil
Me
Wears
too.
Prada so much.
Is that
Yeah.
it is Disney's Devil Wears Prada.
For
you
sure.
know?
For sure.
Like that's the whole conceit of the movie. Now it has this other added element of the heist stuff
Sure.
and the Cruella stuff and the Dalmatian stuff, but
It's basically Devil
essentially
Wears
it is
Prada.
the Devil
Yeah.
Wears Prada.
It's like
which,
a nicer version, but
it and you can go kind of both ways, going it's just a carbon copy or whatever. But I think they do a really good job of telling that type of story of a mean boss in a business that you want to succeed in and what you have to do to get ahead for those kinds of things.
I mean, this isn't it's a dog eat dog market
Sure.
or industry. So it's
Fashion,
not,
yeah.
you have to have
You have to be cutthroat.
you have to have a mean boss
Yeah.
with the understudy type character working their way up, literally getting the lattes and No,
Exactly.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. So the Baroness arrives, and she is Emma Thompson, Professor Trelawney
Dude, I
from the
freaking
Harry
love
Potter movies.
Emma Thompson. I know you kept.
Professor Trelawney.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's also
Divination.
in. Who does she play in the live action Beauty and the Beast?
She's Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Poltz.
She's Mrs. Potts.
Yeah,
I think
Mrs.
she's
Poltz.
also the mom in The Parent Trap, right?
Yeah.
No,
she's,
wait, no,
she's the
that's-
mom in the Maleficent movie, the second one.
No,
Oh.
you're thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's Michelle.
That's
Pfeiffer.
right. That's Michelle.
Oh,
Pfeiffer.
we were talking about Michelle Pfeiffer yesterday.
Yes, Emma
Louisa's
Thompson
like,
is
don't
in the
you
Parent
get
Trap.
her confused with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes,
I love Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson's
She's
great.
really
She
good.
kills it in
And
this role.
she does a very good job in this. I gotta be
Mrs.
mean.
Potts.
I gotta be mean role. So the Baroness comes in, and the manager is like, "Oh no! I don't want the Baroness to be mad at me for this crazy window display. Let's find this girl. She's fired. We're getting her out of here. We'll kill her and rip her thumbs off. Whatever we gotta do. You know, some kind of crazy stuff to punish her for this." And the Baroness comes in and goes like, "Oh, hey, there's some originality happening at my store. This is the best thing you've done in years or whatever." And she's like, "Who's responsible for this? Is that girl there? She's the culprit." And then the Baroness goes, "Give her my card." And
She's like, "Oh, you guys fired her?"
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "She doesn't work here anymore," and she was like, "Okay, you're hired."
yeah,
For me,
And pause.
So wait, was that her shop or just someone she gives?
I think she gives her stuff to these department
Yeah,
stores.
I think
she's like a major contributor to this quote unquote
exactly.
Macy's or whatever.
So if she takes her clothesline away from the store is ruined for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, so Cruella, Ella, whatever her name is, she's in the store, but Horace and Jasper had followed her in because they were like, "Oh no, like
Stealing everything.
It's about to go down. We gotta heist this." And I think that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's
He has all the
fantastic.
bags. He's like,
Horace is just going through
He's
and
dressed up.
raking the
Yeah.
place. He's taking everything
It's
off
the
the
angle.
shelf and putting it. Oh, this is the angle. Yeah, it's great.
And he's like in like full leopard or cheetah or something. Like,
Yeah.
oh, good God.
It's great.
It's good stuff.
And Jasper's trying to desperately get them out of there when they have a window so that they won't be noticed by the Baroness and stuff like that. And, Stella's just like, "No, we're staying here. I got to meet this lady. This lady is
Oh, it
exactly
was
my
good
kind of
stuff.
lady."
I wish she still had the banana on her face, but she didn't.
She had removed it. So yeah, the Baroness has her assistant give her card.
Hilarious.
The assistant's
yeah,
funny
that
too.
dude has funny hair too.
Yeah.
Well, he does say a word, but
Yeah. So he gives her the card and says, "You're hired. 5 a.m. tomorrow morning at this place in London or whatever." And she's like, "All right, cool." And they escape out of the front door before they get arrested. All three of them. So she starts this job at the Baroness's, and the Baroness is a very commanding figure in
She's
her
such a
shop.
narcissist.
She said
She's like reading this thing from the newspaper
it's a
about how
review.
great she is.
It's a review of her
somebody
clothes.
coughs, and I thought he was gonna get like booted out.
I know.
Yes, and she's like, I'm wonderful.
I'm gonna read that again.
Now go make me some clothes.
She is a genius.
And I think that this is what bothers me about this type of industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're a painter, you paint your paintings,
Yep.
you sell it to an art gallery, they might take a commission or whatever.
Right.
But in this industry, it's her name with her people.
It's like
doing
that.
it for her.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which I get. She gets to pick and choose who's under her, but it's her quote unquote
She
design.
takes credit
it's
for
not
every
the person
design
who did its design.
produced
It's still
in
like
her
that.
studio.
That's crazy though.
It's kind of
Yeah.
nuts.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so I can see where there'd be resentment up the wazoo.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
Competitive market.
It's nuts. Like because she says, I'm going to repeat that. I am a genius or whatever. I want you all to revel in my genius for a minute, and they all like literally do. It's like a cult. The employees.
Yeah,
there,
the
they're
one
like,
guy, Breeze, he's like,
It's very funny.
she's amazing, even
She's
though I
amazing.
made this dress.
Right, exactly. And so she has all of her designers line up, and she's like, "Go, make me something." And then they all do, including Emma Stone, and she makes her cool dress. And then the Baroness walks down the hallway, and
think
she's
she
like,
fires a couple
"This
people,
one sucks. This
too."
one sucks. You're fired. This is dumb. This one's okay, but it kind of sucks." And then she gets to Emma Stone, so she's like,
sucks.
I'm going to. And she rips off the sleeves, and she's like, "Put it in the collection."
Well,
Boom.
this part was kind of crazy though. She like rips up her dress and she nicked like Emma Stone's arm and she's bleeding and she's like, "From someone from Fabric, get me this color in red."
Give me this color red, the red of her blood.
I was like, Jesus.
All right. we can see where this is going. Okay.
But she
Right.
doesn't hate her, and then from there on out, she kind of like follows her around everywhere. Like she has Estella follow her basically.
There is the Baroness respects her ideas, I think. But she doesn't respect her as a person. You know, she's definitely
No.
thinks that everyone is beneath her, but she's like, this one is going to make me money. So
But
you
she has
get to
talent, so come on.
Yes, you get to follow me around, and basically becomes her direct assistant, and they collaborate on ideas.
But
and
also,
stuff
she
like that.
started trusting her like way too soon because like she's following her everywhere. Like, oh, design this, do that. What do you think of this? How would you do it?
Get me lunch.
Make the waist pencil thin. Get me lunch. And then she's like, here's all my diamonds. This is where I keep them. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it's like immediate or if it's like
I think it's
over
over
time.
Over
They
time.
make it
But
seem kind of like
do.
quick though.
But I like that. I like the side story. I think this is Luis and I's best favorite character. Pretty much right after she makes that first dress, she's walking down the street
I freaking
and
love that.
she gets into this like clothing shop.
Yes.
And she walks in there and she sees the dress in the window and
Yes.
she's like, "Ooh!" Right. So she
Woohoo.
goes in, and I want to call him David Bowie, but
I mean, that's
David
definitely
Bowie, man.
his name is Art.
that's
I think.
definitely his style. Yeah,
It's
Artie.
Artie.
Yeah.
So-
played by John McCrea.
One of the best characters in the movie.
Artie is obviously fabulous. You
he's
know,
so good.
she says to him like, "You look so good." And he's like, "I hear that all the time," and it sounds good to hear every time. And it's like, "Yeah, dude, go
love
off,
They're
Artie."
friends, yeah.
So he owns this shop and he has all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a department store but better because he has only the designs that
Vintage.
he likes.
Yes, and he has very good taste that aligns with hers.
Yes.
You know,
So she's like, "Well, I'm designing, you selling," like, and you can immediately see like she's gonna want to branch out and work with him directly, which is cool because
Right.
it means she has an outlet to do something other than.
and she
Meryl
buys
Streep.
that red dress in the window for
Yes, she
show.
yes.
I know
she
she's
does.
not Meryl Streep, but she's Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
Good Lord.
she's streeping down the street, you know. So
Down
yeah,
the street in my '69 dress.
Yes. So at this point, Estella's very close to the Baroness. Not like they like each other per se, but just close in like their fashion designing or whatever. But from the jewels that day, she got that heirloom necklace, and Estella saw it and kind of freaked out. She was like, and then she was like, "That necklace." And she's like, "Yeah, what about it, fool? Like, it's my necklace.
It's a family heirloom.
It's a family
She's like, family
heirloom."
heirloom, too.
And she says, like, "Oh, this thief stole it once or whatever," like, talk down. And she's like, "Holy crap, that's my mom." And she's talking crap about my mom. And immediately the Cruella side comes out and she's like, "Yeah, we're still in this necklace, okay? I want it back."
right. That's what snaps her again. I think
like
she
the
has.
first
Because this was,
impetus
well, we know the Baroness is like totally a narcissist, but I think this is the first time she directly says something very rude about somebody that Estella knows.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, okay, this is personal
you-
now."
And
Cross the
especially
line.
because she's like, "I don't even know who the lady was." Like she was just very like diminishing the fact that
She doesn't matter.
this
She was
lady
a
is,
thief.
like,
Matter.
gone,
She fell off my
whatever.
cliff.
Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Estella is now in like attack mode. She was in.
I present you the angle.
Yeah. So she goes and talks to the homies, and it's like, guess what? We got the angle. We're stealing that necklace. We're getting it back. And they
And I
start
like it because
planning.
Jasper's like, "But do we really need to do this?" And Horace's like, "We doing it."
Yeah.
Horace doesn't care. He's
No.
just like down for the fun.
needs
Let's
the
steal
angle,
some
man.
stuff. Hooray! Yeah. So
He's the Drax of the Endeavor.
yeah, exactly. So they start pulling this heist, which reminded me of Ant-Man a lot because
Yes.
the job that they pull in Ant-Man is to infiltrate this building, steal the one thing, get out,
Yeah.
and we're gonna use. They dressed up like plumbers or something like that in Ant-Man, and in this they dress up like pest control people.
Dude, Horace is the freaking funniest in this one. Gosh, I can't. He dresses up Wink like a giant rat.
Oh my God! Yes,
So
and
funny.
has him in his bag, and he goes up to the security guard. And he's like, "Hey, I'm pest control. Let me in." And the security guard's like, I don't think so.
It's a
I'm
party."
good. I'm good at my job."
And he's like, "These pests don't sleep."
They're bigger than your face. They got poison in their mouths. They'll bite you, and your eyes will roll back into the back of your head. He is going off, and it's great. And then Wink shows up behind the security guard, dressed in this rat outfit, and he freaks out. And he's like, "Okay, you can come in. Just
And
get those things
honestly,
out of
he
here."
looks pretty creepy.
It looks pretty good. I mean, a big old, a tiny dog in a big rat costume with only one eye. Yeah, I'm gonna say, come on in, pest control.
Have you ever seen those commercials? It's not a commercial. It's like a video where like a dog is dressed up as a spider and it has the legs.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when they run, it looks like it's like a big old spider
All
coming
the
at
legs
you.
are moving
That's
around.
what it reminds me of.
It was
like,
so funny with the tail. So funny.
Oh.
So Jasper's in charge of like getting the cameras down, and then Horace has to break into the jewel.
Right. To
thing.
actually grab
So
it.
they need a distraction.
Estella is going to be the
Is
distraction.
the distraction.
In fact,
Dude, she being crazy up in this distraction.
But here's the
Cruella
deal.
is
This
the
is the best.
distraction.
Gained on that one.
So
Yeah.
it's a black and white party, right? So she had bought that red dress from the window, and she wears it, but she puts like a white shawl over it. And it's a black and white party, so everyone's in black and
they all
white.
have
Hold
their
on, pause. Has
masks.
she already talked to Anita first?
No.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not until after this.
Yeah.
So,
But Anita is there.
Anita is there. She's like,
She's a reporter
Yeah,
now.
reporter.
She's taking pictures.
yeah,
and-
she's a reporter. So freaking, she like has a match, or well, the Baroness comes in with her dogs, and big entrance, blah blah blah, and I think Estella says later, she's like, if there's one thing the Baroness doesn't like, it's girls in gold at her party that look better than her or whatever. She's
So
like, she kicks them out
She kicks someone out at every single one of her parties.
because they look too good,
Either
right? So
someone
she's
looks
like,
too good,
I'm
or
gonna
they're
look
riff-raffy,
good.
or
Yeah.
they're
Or they have a
upstaging
poodle.
her. Yeah, they have a poodle.
Dog or something.
Yeah. Or they have a poodle. Yeah, you can't have a dog. It's only the Baroness that has a dog in her party,
Exactly.
So she sets the white shawl part on fire, and then she's in like her, like you said, she kind of Hunger Games
Oh,
it,
a
right?
total Hunger Games
She's like
moment.
in her red dress with her black and white hair, so not the red hair. So
Right. That was a thing I failed to mention, is that when she started hanging out with her grifter homies, she decided that she would have to blend in with them, so she dyed her hair red. So her hair has been red her entire adult life
Yeah.
or whatever, up until this point when she...
or she might wear wigs. Or
Yeah,
at this
I mean,
point,
she
we don't
definitely
really
she
know.
definitely has wigs because she was putting them on in her disguises when she was grifting. But the red hair, at first at least, is dye. But now she is bringing her hair out in all of its glory, and she's got her mask on, and she is in full Cruella mode. She introduces herself to the Baroness, and the Baroness sees her and is like, I like what I'm seeing here.
No, but she's like beating up the security guards with her stick. She's like, bing, bing.
Well,
Like,
because
go ahead and come at me.
the Baroness is like, oh, well, this lady's trying to upstage me. We got to get her kicked out of here. But then she refuses to be kicked out. She's like, I don't care about any of these guards. I'll bop one over here. I'll bop one over there. Cane this one in the face. And bop, bop, bop. And so the Baroness is like impressed. And when she actually goes up to her and talks to her, they have their old fancy lady talk, darling, darling. And the Baroness like kind of respects her because she's like, you're wearing one of my dresses. And she's like, I made it better. And it's like, oh, okay, lady, okay. I see you. I see what you're doing.
I think there's one point where she's like, why are you here? What's the thing? And she's like, I just want to be like you. And she's like, everybody does. Like,
Why wouldn't you?
and then I don't remember. She's like, all right, you got to go now. You're trying to upstage me. Get out of here.
Right. So this is all part of the distraction. Horace is going up there to try to get the necklace, which is in like a locked vault behind
It's
wires and
empty
lasers and stuff like that.
Because she was wearing
It's
it.
empty. The Baroness is wearing the necklace, and Cruella sees that. And she's like, I'm gonna have to stall for a little bit longer or whatever. Jasper finds out that they're in trouble somehow, and he decides
Because
to cause
the
a
rat's
distraction
like
of his
biting
own.
the wires, and then the cameras.
The cameras come back
Come back
on,
on.
and
So
Horace
security's out there trying to
gets
Get 'em.
caught.
Yeah, Horace gets caught.
And they're like walking him off to
Jasper's smart. He
dungeon
puts
or
a bunch of
whatever.
the rats in his briefcase, and he sets them loose in the thing.
yes, because
party.
turns out this place actually did need some pest control, and there are rats in the
Well,
building.
there's rats in London a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's lots of
that's
rats
sewer
in
system.
London. And so he releases the rats. This causes a bigger distraction at the party, and
Everyone's
Cruella
yelling and freaking out.
Cruella is able to snatch the necklace off of the Baroness's neck without her really noticing at
No,
first.
but then she drops it, and then the freaking Dalmatian eats it.
Dalmatian eats it and runs away.
Yeah.
And so they have to escape, which they do. And
Barely.
But now the Baroness doesn't have her necklace. Cruella doesn't have the necklace. The necklace is in the dog's intestinal tract. And so her next move,
And they barely escape.
they barely escape. And so her next
Is this where they have to hijack the car?
Yeah, she
and she
steals.
doesn't know how to drive.
Steals a car.
It was
They're like,
good.
we didn't know you know how to drive. She's like, I don't. And she's driving all of them through the street against incoming traffic and stuff.
It's fantastic.
Very reminiscent of the movies
She
because
even has like her shoulders.
Yeah, I know.
Shoulders are hunched and the arms are
and
long.
her hair is all big and
Yeah.
crazed. It's great. Like the homages that they pay to 101 Dalmatians are
It's
really
good.
good.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're too much though.
I don't
Like
think so
sometimes
either.
it's like, oh my god,
Here we
in
go.
other movies, but here I thought it was.
But I mean,
tastefully done.
it's happening here again because she's like, Horace, Jasper, go steal those dogs. That's what I need you to do. It's your
Just
first
like 101
big mission.
Dalmatians. And
Exactly.
At this point, Jasper is like over her. He's like, I do not like Cruella.
I don't like this new attitude you got, young lady.
Like, you're telling me to go steal these dogs, and Horace is like, it's okay, we'll steal the dogs.
It's Tangle.
yeah, he's just trying to steal stuff. He don't care.
He does not care.
And he's
what he
like,
has
she's
to
our
steal.
family, it's fine.
Exactly. And she's the boss, which they've, determined long ago.
So at this point, she's really done with the Baroness. She's so pissed. She freaking gets Artie, moves him into the house, and is like, he's gonna make fashion downstairs. I'm gonna sell it. We're gonna do some.
He's gonna make.
We're gonna
fashion.
do some crazy messed up stuff. Y'all go steal
They're
those
waging-
Dalmatians, which was way too easy for
They're,
them to
they're
steal.
waging war against the Baroness.
It was way too easy for them to steal those Dalmatians.
The Dalmatian stealing is very funny.
They just saw Wink and they were like, we gotta eat Wink.
So yeah,
They're
I mean,
in the poodle shop getting poodled.
they're getting the best grooming money could buy, I guess.
What do you call that? Diamond paws.
Diamond
Yeah.
Boss.
There's a place here in the town we
That's
live in.
called Diamond Paws.
It's called Diamond Paws, and it's for dogs. It's like a grooming place, but it's next door to the place where I used to get my nails done.
Okay.
So whenever I would go in and get my nails done, Louis was like, "You going to Diamond Paws? Like you can shut your mouth."
My pals good.
I confused it with that.
That's funny.
That'd be
he
funny if the
didn't.
nail place was called Diamond Paws, though.
It's like one big shop.
Yeah.
Dogs
That-
over there.
That
ladies over
would be
there.
really funny.
So Horace has Wink, the little eye patch dog, walk by.
He's like, remember, they can smell your fear.
He has him walk past the groomers, and all three mean Dalmatians are like, it's that little rat that we saw the other night. And they all jump out of their grooming baths and try to follow Wink, and they all just jump into the back of Horace's van. They close up the back and drive away. And it's like, wow, this is a very
Those Dalmatians
successful
aren't very smart.
dog
And the
Okay.
groomers are like, "Oh man,
Oh, can you imagine?
we about to die.
The Baroness probably killed them. Like,
It's so funny
We
to
about
me.
to get pushed off a cliff."
Because in 101 Dalmatians, the animated and the live action, Horace and Jasper, the henchmen, they're bumbling buffoons or whatever, right? But in this movie, both of them are really smart and
Yeah.
they're really good at the crimes that they commit. So like when she asked them to go get the Dalmatians, I'm like, all right, here we go. What kind of vat of whatever are these dummies are about to fall in? And they don't. They pull it off without a hitch.
They're silly though, which make
Yes.
kind of plays into the old perception. But Jasper is much smarter,
Much smarter.
than what I was expecting. him to be.
Much more of a central character and even kind of love interest in a way for
or like
Cruella.
the older brother type of
Yes,
figure.
which is
in
not
a weird
what I was.
way.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting this familial love between
No.
the three of them, but it's cool, and I think it works really well, especially when they start getting into fights with her because of
Yeah,
how
like they
she's
wouldn't have
behaving.
stayed if they didn't really care about her.
Exactly, yeah. So I like
I
all
wouldn't have
that
put
stuff.
up with her BS. Bill.
No, she was awful at the end of
Luis
this.
was so mad. He's like, "Man, I don't like the way she's treating them."
I don't like it either. Yeah, I don't like the way you're talking to us. So they get the dogs and bring them
And then
back to the
she doesn't
loft.
really. She had changes between the two accents, right? So when she's
Yes.
Estella, she talks very different than when she's Cruella. And they were like, "Why are you doing the act right now?" and that's where I was like, "Oh, she crazy, homie.
Yeah, she's
she
losing
crazy.
Mhm.
She's losing it hardcore."
She's in full on Cruella mode.
So I think this is again another really really good part of the movie is they go through a like a montage of her just baiting the Baroness. Like she's not like trying to steal anything. She's not trying to.
She's just showing off.
She's just coming out like, "Oh, you think you're good? Let me show you."
Oh, are you having a gala event? Guess what? I'm showing up with a garbage truck full of your nasty old dresses, and I'm wearing it, and it looks great. Ha ha!
She like stitches them all together,
Yes.
and it's like one long train.
Super long garbage
And
train.
she's
That
still.
reminded me of the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just sticking his head out of the garbage can or out of the trailer.
And she's working with Anita at this point. and
So Anita's at all of these events, ready to capture
and posts publishes everything, you know. And she's still working for the Baroness, like as Estella, but she's being way more annoying. I think she says like sorry a lot, and the Baroness like hates that.
She's really pulling an inside job on this lady.
She's dumbing herself down on purpose. So
Yeah, she is.
Yes, exactly. In her red wig or whatever.
So this was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that one. She did the garbage one. She did one where like the Baroness, or was that the same one where the Baroness showed up in a car and they like what do you call
that was
that?
a different one.
Where they strapped it. What do you call that? The zip tie strap. It's
They
not
just
really
made
a
it so
zip
she
tie.
couldn't open the
they
car.
They wrapped it up.
Yeah.
And then she stood on top of the car and covered it, and I think it said like, I don't remember what it
Cruella
said.
forever. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. When she shows up with her mask that says the future,
Yeah.
and then when she's on top of the car, it says like the past, and it's draped over the Baroness or whatever.
That one was really cool.
She's very creative. She's very smart.
Well, they are definitely playing off the like 70s punk rock.
Yeah, and it's also it's very supervillainy, the kind of things that she's doing. Not that it's
Like
like
you say, it's
evil,
very
or-
jokery.
or that it's committing crimes, but it's such a big bold move that she's pulling in front of the public, and everybody's like, oh my god, what kind of crazy white haired lady is this?
So then what happens next is Estella, working for the Baroness, has been kind of dumbing herself down and not giving the Baroness good pieces.
Right, she's not performing.
Apparently the Baroness is crazy and has freaking cameras in the alleyways and sees her like drawing a legit dress in a book, and she takes it and is like, this is my signature piece now. And so Estella is like, great, I really like that design, how am I going to ruin it? That I thought was very clever, how that ended up playing out.
Did she I'm trying to remember.
It was the gold dress.
Right, that was the gold dress, but like she's sketching in the alleyway, she knows that she's being watched.
No, she didn't know.
I don't think so.
You don't think she knew?
I
No.
don't think she knew.
I was under the impression that this was a calculated move. I'm gonna pretend
No,
to
I don't think she knew.
I'm gonna not give her my good designs. I'm gonna pretend to sketch my good designs in my own secret book on my lunch, and then she's gonna come and try to steal it because she's a crazy lady.
No,
who's
I don't think
definitely
she
evil.
knew.
think
Kind of
so.
goes out of her way though to ruin the dress afterwards, because she does mention like, how am I going to ruin it?
That's true.
Yeah,
But
she was like,
wants
what
it
am I
be
gonna
a
do now?
Cruella thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
After that, she turns it into that because she's smart.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but she...
But that was a more
It
of a
wasn't
pivot
calculated.
than a calculated.
She was like,
move.
dang, she owns the alleyway cameras too? Like,
That dress was probably one of the best in the whole movie.
the coolest in the movie.
So Baroness makes her make the dress. She makes this really cool, very like funky.
it's like a really cool iridescent green
Yeah,
color.
she has to like.
this is
stitch
the
a
only
whole
thing
bunch
where I
of-
didn't know where it was going, because I was like, why is Horace delivering the beads?
She had to sew beads on.
They were like special beads,
the
and I was
entirety of the
like,
dress.
I don't understand why Horace is delivering the beads, but okay. So she stitches all the beads on the dress. The dress is absolutely beautiful, and that's that. Then she has Horace and Jasper break in, but not take
They
anything.
like faux break in.
They do the Mission
They do a
Impossible
faux,
again.
yeah. They do a faux break in, and that trips the Baroness up. Like, oh, Cruella's trying to steal my dress.
And they're that's the best. They come down to the ceiling.
She's like, but I don't blame.
It's like me when Nens is in the room reading.
Yeah, there's a guy like the security guard is sitting there, and
Incompetently.
and they're like trying to wake him up, and so they like knock over all the mannequins, and he doesn't wake up, and they're
Knocked
like, "Oh
out.
my god, when are you gonna wake up?" So they have to go and like poke him or do
I
something.
think they like
That was
do they like
hilarious.
slap him in the face? How do they wake him
They
up?
messed him up pretty good.
They took his chips out of his hand, and
Sorry.
eventually he wakes up and is like, intruders, and then Horace and Jasper make their
Andrew
escape.
Will Robinson.
Yeah. So the Baroness has to react to this and goes like, I better lock up my signature dresses so that Cruella can't come in and steal them, like she's already tried and failed to do.
So they have this huge fashion show, and they're getting ready for it. And Estella's supposed to be there, but she's not. And so the butler dude is like, "Where's Estella?" And it was interesting at this point. I mean, I already knew. I had already figured it out at this point. But the butler dude says like, "I think you're wrong. I don't think it's her." To like the Baroness,
Yeah.
and she's like, "It is." Like the
Estella
Baroness
being Cruella.
knows that Estella is Cruella at this point,
Right.
And the butler's trying to be like, it's okay, it's just
Trying
a
to
coincidence
pull her
that the
off the-
hair's that
the
color
tail.
or whatever. It's crazy or whatever. She also definitely knows that Cruella is who she is because of the hair or whatever. You know?
Probably.
But apparently all those beads that she was tying on the dress, it was moths, and then they all hatched from the eggs.
That's how.
Yeah, they were
did
beaded.
it.
Yeah, they were
Beaded
they were
like
the cocoons.
Yeah.
I did not get that.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
really
they were
cool.
the cocoons.
So
that
like
she sewed on there.
She locks it in the vault. The Baroness is having this event, and they're supposed to open the vault so they can pull out the cool dress so
Barely
everybody can see it.
figured that out.
And
You didn't see the moth come out of
I
like the
thought
little
they
thing.
were in there for such a long time,
Oh.
unbeknownst as beads that
I think it was like
they
the next
started-
night or something
I
like
was
that.
No, they were like cocoons
Yeah.
So
that
the,
they had like spray
the
painted or
dress
whatever.
is the dress is
So
locked in the
smart.
vault, and they can't get it open, so they have to cut through the metal of the vault to get it open so that they can reveal this dress. And when they cut it open, millions of moths fly out.
Everyone's freaking out, and the Baroness is just standing
She's standing there like,
She was more standing there now that she's just like,
Cruella got me again.
man, I am done. Like, more, I am done than like I'm too hard of a.
So the
person.
millions of moths cause all of the fashion show attendees to run outside. They run right to the courtyard where there's another fashion show, Cruella's fashion
Cruella
show.
staged
they
the
having
new
a straight
fashion
up
show.
like runway party out there.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm having a question in my mind, and I think I have a rationalization for it, but I'm just not sure. So Cruella, the persona of Cruella, she's out there, she's designing things. Do you think she has started like a real label and is like selling her designs
No,
somewhere?
not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so in that case, where is Estella and Cruella and Horace and Jasper getting the money to put on all these crazy, ludicrous
Dude, they
events?
did
Stealing
all of
stuff?
these
They're just stealing
I think
it.
they invested very well.
Oh, okay.
With all of the earnings.
That's
They
what-
have money.
That's basically what I'm thinking. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that they've had money from their past that
Yeah,
they just
because I mean,
have grifted.
in the beginning of the movie, they were stealing some good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they have
They
money.
were selling
and
like
she has elaborate costumes the entire
Yeah.
time. You're right.
And she just hired Artie to like help make them.
Yeah, Artie's there, but that at this outdoor concert
They hired
fashion
some
show,
models.
they got models, they got lights, they got
Yeah.
guitars,
She
they
got friends.
They got a lot of
Artie
stuff.
has friends. They found people.
So okay,
you know.
she has more money than poor little orphan Estella.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
that's kind of where my mind was bringing her poverty level, but
Yeah.
she's got more money than that. Okay,
I would say.
and also she is working for the Baroness. She's probably making a
And
fair
she's-
amount of money from
she's
that.
not
Yeah,
paying
she's
for her
making
house,
money.
So
That's true. No rent.
Also, freaking, she comes out
or
and
rent control. I don't know.
Yeah.
in the Dalmatian stuff, and the
Squatters' rights.
the Baroness is like, she killed my dogs and made a coat.
Right.
And I
That
was,
was
like,
really good.
no, she didn't. No.
And you know, at this point in the movie, I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I thought she for sure did.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I think
I couldn't
earlier
tell.
she was like, oh, their fur would make a good coat. And Horace was like, the dogs?
Yeah. Jasper was like, the dogs. She's like, I'm joking. I'm joking.
And
I'm
you're like,
mostly joking.
Are you joking?
Yeah. So.
Horace was watching the soccer games with those dogs, though. He was like, oh,
yeah,
good.
that's right. The dogs.
they're
The dogs were calmed by Tottenham. Very funny. So they have this whole Cruella fashion show. She has her dog outfit, and then from there the Baroness,
Which was probably the most reminiscent to animated Cruella, like her outfit.
right? Yeah, the big furry
Yeah.
coat and her
So
cigarette.
the police come and they have to scatter. And Cruella kind of just leaves Horace and Jasper at this point. Like, she scatters a different direction with them. Like, which usually they escape together. So I think they were mad. They were like, oh, she just left us. Like,
she doesn't care about us.
she doesn't
anymore.
care about us
Well,
anymore.
and they were mad too because I was under the impression that Jasper was under the impression that was the dog's dead.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that he thought that,
on
that
her
she killed the
dress.
dogs. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's playing his guitar and he's like doing his thing, but you could tell he's pissed off.
he's all mad looking at her. He's like, I can't believe this lady is doing this to me in my heart. and so yeah,
This is not the angle.
they're upset. So they're walking back home. And Cruella went to some other restaurant to lay low or whatever. And then when Cruella goes back to the loft, she expects to find the boys there, and they are there, but they're tied up and in chairs, and the Baroness and her henchmen are there.
She's like, I'm over this.
And
Over
she
this.
rolls
You're
up
done.
full Cruella. So it's not like she can talk her way out
She's
of
like,
it.
boys, we did it. And they're like, we're in trouble.
She's about to do the stanky leg, and then it's like, oh, okay. I see where we's at.
So this is where we really know the Baroness is insane.
And evil.
Because she's like, these boys are tied up, and she's like, let them go. You just want me. She's like, nah, I'll burn you, and then they're going to go to jail for your murder. And she's like, murder? She's like, just like you murdered my mom. And she's like, which one? You're going to have to be more
You gotta
specific.
narrow it down.
Like, she says that, and I was like, damn, how many people has she murdered?
Bro, she has that dog whistle that she uses to control the Dalmatians with, and she has it on her at all times, and she just blows on it, and the Dalmatians come running, and I guess they just push people off of cliffs
Yeah,
all the time.
She trained them to I mean, you can do that.
You know how many maids are at the bottom of that cliff? You know, a lot. A fair amount. So,
I just thought it was funny. She was like, "You're gonna have to be a little more specific about who you're talking about."
Right.
I was like, "Okay."
Off of their head is for real.
I've killed at least 10 people.
Yeah, this
she was
lady
like, "Oh,
is
your mom the thief who stole my necklace."
She's a mass murderer.
Ooh,
So
sorry.
so anyway, so yeah, that's basically what happens. She carts off Horace and Jasper. She takes them to jail, and then she sets the loft on fire with Cruella inside. The dogs are also inside, not the Dalmatians.
No, she takes their Dalmatians
Right,
back.
she takes Dalmatians, but Wink and Cruella's dog, Flappy or Benji or whatever his name is, they're in there, and they try to
Winky and Flappy.
they try to help her out. So they're like biting the ropes off of her and try to get her out of the chair. They're not really succeeding. There's a lot of smoke in the air, but you see a silhouetted figure, a bald silhouetted figure coming in and helping out. So Cruella wakes up and she's in a strange apartment, and it's M. Strong. He's there. He's John the valet, and he's been looking out for her this entire time. Basically, he reveals that he found the necklace, which they had eventually gotten the dogs to poop out, and
it's been thoroughly sanitized.
And
thoroughly
it has
bleached.
a key in the necklace.
There's a key in the necklace. The key opens up a tiny chest, and in that tiny chest is
Davy Jones' heart.
Is Davy Jones' heart. Him heart.
Him heart. He cuts out him heart.
No.
Pretty much. Okay, Emma Stone's heart is in that
What's
chest
in
now.
there is Estella's birth certificate, which says that she is actually the daughter of the Baron and the Baroness, and they had this baby, and they were like, black and white hair, get rid of that thing, and they carted it off.
Well, I think she reveals that like the Baron was so excited and the Baroness is such a narcissist that she was like, I do not want this baby, and she gave the baby to him and was like, take care of it, and he couldn't he was like, I'm gonna kill it, so he gave it to the
she was like, toss this baby off the cliff.
other mother.
And
the other mother.
And so John, he gave it over to Emily or whatever her name is, the mom, and she's the one who raised Estella. And so this is a huge reveal for Estella Cruella, and
It was not a reveal to Michelle?
No.
it was not a reveal to Michelle at all. Michelle called it.
I called it
at the party scene. She was like, "That's either her grandma or her mom." Like,
and then once I started watching it a little more, I was like, well, that's her mom. And Andre was like, no, it's not. He was like, if anything, the butler dude is her dad.
Yeah, I thought Butler
and I was
That's what I
like,
thought.
I was like, no. I was like, that's her mom.
I was
and
thinking
I
that-
like literally had the whole thing predicted. I kept saying it throughout the movie, and Andre was like, you're wrong. And then it came to the scene. I looked at him, and he was like, dang, you're right.
she
I
nailed
thought
it.
Dad was the
Mark
valet
Strong.
guy, and that the mom was the mom.
Okay,
right,
right.
and that for whatever reason he had his loyalty to the Baroness,
Right.
and he was like,
You gotta go,
either you gotta go or
the
like,
baby doesn't get to live.
Yeah, and she was like,
well, now you
bye.
have to watch it again knowing it, because I knew it the whole time, so it was very interesting. I was like, man, they're so alike. Like, just be like, we're twins, because the Baroness and Cruella are a lot alike.
They're
Oh, they're very
like
incredibly
how
alike.
narcissistic they are and like
Yes.
stuff like that.
and talented and headstrong, and they do have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. So
Which
you
it is-
guys,
it's funny that you say that, because I remember like one of the first scenes where she's still a kid and she's sewing with other mother, right?
Other mother.
Which, what is that from? Coraline? With the other mother?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
With the
button eyes.
Yeah.
She's sewing with her, and the mom is like, no, that's not the pattern. And she's trying to get her to sew in the pattern, and Estella's just like, no, I'm going to do this already.
Yeah, do it my way.
She's like, oh, that's nice. And it's very Baronessy.
she's
you know?
like, great, I'm raising the Baroness's kid, and she's gonna also be insane.
Right.
That's why she was trying to make her be good all the time.
And that's why when Estella is like working for the Baroness is like, you are something, like she's so impressed by her that she almost gives her a compliment, which
Yeah.
I assume she's never done in her entire
Probably
life
not.
to anyone else,
Yeah.
So this really rocks Cruella's world. I think at this point she runs off and like steals a bike and goes back to the fountain and talks to her.
She's like,
her-
so my
her mother.
nemesis is my real mother, who killed my other mother.
This was a good scene.
I liked it a lot
Her
because
monologue.
she's monologuing and she's kind of fighting between who she is, which mom she wants to follow, right? And she's like, real mom, adoptive mom or whatever, you're the one who taught me to be good and and follow the right path and do all of that stuff. And I like doing that, and I'm good at it. But then other mom over here is telling me how to be like the most BA, and I really like that too. And it's a really interesting like nature versus nurture kind of argument that she's having with herself. And it turns out that like nature is winning because she's like, I'm going all in evil Cruella time. Let's get it and get revenge on my real fake mom, you know?
Yeah, I think they were like, there's 4 stages of grief, but they didn't talk about the 5th one.
Revenge.
And I knew revenge was the 5th one at that point. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But it's good because everybody thinks she's dead.
Yes.
Obviously, except for M. Strong.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks she's
and
dead.
she saves Horace and Jasper from the jail or
but
whatever.
they think she's dead.
They think
So
she's
they're
dead
like,
too.
"Ooh."
They're in there crying in jail. They're like, Stella's dead.
They're not going to fare well in jail if they're in there crying.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say.
That's what
You
Jasper
can't cry in
says.
jail. Which is very funny.
So she helps them escape from jail.
Wink shows
And-
up. Wink comes in clutch every point in this
he's
movie.
He's the best.
I like Wink.
MVP.
So Jasper is like pretty pissed at this point, and so is Horace kind of. She tells them everything that happened, and they're like, "What?" And Jasper's like, "Thanks for that story." And they try to leave, and she's
Stop
like,
though.
"But-
How did she get them out of jail?
She
Because
said-
it was pretty amazing.
Oh,
Wink shows up.
that's why you have to put. That's why you're supposed to put barriers in front of buildings.
Oh,
She
yes,
just
that's
drives
right.
through the building.
Yeah, she
that was before they had to put cinder blocks out
takes
front of.
a trash truck or whatever and just drives through the front of the police building, which is cool. Also, when Wink shows up, it comes in front of the bars. Horace sees him, and Wink is Horace's dog, and
He's like, "You're not dead."
Wink, you're not dead. You're getting kissed right on the mouth. I couldn't believe it.
That
I
was
laughing
me.
so hard. What'd you say, Lou?
No.
He said he doesn't care where that mouth has been.
Right, yeah. I also disagreed with the statement, but it
Something
was,
I would say.
It was very funny to me. So yeah,
He loves his wings.
He loves his
The
little
big
wing.
old burly man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Little tiny winky dog.
So they go out there. They see Estella dressed up with a mustache on and in the trash truck, which is funny. And Cruella is the one who explains that, like, hey, you guys are my family, and I haven't been treating you
Had
like
to pull
that.
a family card.
So yeah, she pulled the family card, and it's working. Let's go. And they team back up with her, and it's very sweet. Like I really like their relationship. I think that might be the strongest thing in the movie is them three together.
And apparently people were not loving on that. They thought
Oh,
that
really?
that was too like it was too soft for a real Cruella.
For how evil she's supposed
but like,
to
let's
be.
be real. If
I
she's
think
evil,
it's
you got to
fine.
have some support to be evil. You can't just be evil by yourself.
Right,
No,
because
you
for the Baroness, it doesn't work out that way. Her henchman, Mark Strong, John the valet, he betrays her because he's not a homie. She doesn't treat him like.
I think he was homie to the Baron, and then the Baroness took over, and he was like, "Oh my
Oh,
God, if I
Lord.
want to keep my job, I have to deal with this."
my boss sucks now, dude. Yeah. I think it's one of those situations. So keep
But
your.
he did tell her that the estate is obviously Estella's,
Right.
without the Baroness.
That's right. It's in her name, and if she goes away,
Yeah.
then
So
she
this
she will acquire it.
Cruella has a plan. She's like, get the measurements of
Because,
everybody.
the titles in England are passed down to the offspring.
Right.
Yeah.
Through generations.
The non-blood person could assume
Mm-hmm.
if no one else is there within the further line.
Only
Gotcha.
Luis would know about,
That's what I'm
lineage
assuming.
and. No, I think it really is a thing.
Lineage
though.
and legacy and lands and titles and all of that.
So
That's why you got so many
she
lords.
she gets
Ladies.
the measurements and names of everybody attending the gala and sends them black and white dresses and wigs, and it says like, wear this in honor of Cruella.
In memory of Cruella,
Yeah.
since she's dead. So
and then makes it as the Baroness had sent it.
it's so funny because all the party guests start showing up, and the Baroness is like, "Be on the lookout for Cruella. She's still out there. She's not dead. Tackle her as soon as you see her." And then everybody starts showing up looking exactly like Cruella. So like 17 ladies get tackled for like no reason.
It's so good.
It's very funny. So eventually they all get in there. Everybody looks like Cruella, and Cruella herself slips in unnoticed or whatever. Horace and Jasper are dressed up as
Horace
waiters.
is dressed up as a Cruella.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's got on lipstick and stuff, and they're trying to get into the back room. Oh, they send all the guards into one room and lock that door up.
Yeah, M Strong is like, all the men Come on over. It's time to get into the room.
That's right. We need you over here.
Mama Baron said.
So they go in there, and then only one security guard doesn't go in the room, and he fights with Horace, right? Which is very silly because he's once again dressed
Artie
like
clocks him,
Cruella.
I think,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
Artie
like,
comes
okay.
by, and he's looking good too. He's got on a scarf and the waiter outfit, and knocks that fool out. So
Love Artie. Oh my gosh, so good.
what is the rest of Cruella's plan here?
We missed it where Cruella went back to Artie's place and he was like, "What?"
You're alive.
And I think she says like she wants to do something like get in trouble, do this, maybe some murder. He was like, "I'm in." Maybe not the dying part.
She's
And
like,
she was
"It
like,
won't be you
It won't
dying."
be you. He's like, "Yes."
I'll grab my coat. Very good.
He's
Very
so good.
So Cruella, she shows up and does she make like her grand entrance? I'm trying to remember exactly how it
No,
ends.
she doesn't make a grand entrance at all. She goes in the bathroom, changes into Estella's outfit, and then because everybody thinks Cruella's dead, so if they saw
Right.
Cruella, it would freak them out. Cruella's dead, so she changes to be Estella,
Mm-hmm.
goes outside, and then calls.
She walks
calls
by her
the
and
dogs.
gets the dog whistle.
She gets the whistle. She pricks her in the arm, grabs
Which
the
Andre
whistle.
was like, she poisoned her.
I thought she poisoned her.
I
I,
thought
was
she
like,
did too.
all right.
I was like, you could have just poked her with a finger. I don't know if you needed a whole little pinprick.
No, it was to
thing.
distract her. She got the
Did a
whistle,
Maleficent up in
called
here.
the dogs, and then called her outside, the
Right.
Baroness.
And also everybody else from the party comes outside as well.
Yeah, because
Yeah, 'cause-
what's his face is like, oh, the Baroness needs you on the
Requires
has
women.
a-
Terrace.
Yes.
something on the terrace. Yeah, so she's like, Estella, and basically it's like, oh my gosh, you're here and you're my daughter, la 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, may I have a hug? And I was like, you're full of it, girl. And I mean, obviously Cruella knows that, but like,
And Cruella definitely knows that. So the Baroness goes in for the hug.
I like how she tries to sick the dogs on her, and she's like, sit. And
Yeah.
they're like, bloop.
That's right. Yeah, the dogs will listen to Cruella now. But
She's nicer to them, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
The Baroness goes in for the hug, and Estella knows exactly what she's going to do. She pushes her off the cliff. But
And everybody sees it.
everybody sees her do it. It's like,
She's
man,
like,
this lady's a murderer.
Oh, she tried to attack me.
She
Oh,
jumped. She jumped.
That was so good.
I was defending myself.
she jumped. She jumped.
She jumped. You guys didn't
I
see
love
it.
there's
She
like
jumped.
the security guards that watch the cameras and they were like, ooh.
That was very funny.
It's on footage, homie. Like, screwed.
There's this movie is set in like the 60s 70s era, and there's a lot of black people in this movie, which I appreciated. All of them have gigantic hair. Every single black
70s,
person
baby.
has a 70s fro.
Anita's got a fro,
which is
yeah.
fantastic. But yeah, when these security guards are watching the footage back for like the whole evening, like everything that happens, they're like, oh, it's not. When the ladies are getting tackled, they're like, ah.
It's very funny.
And when she gets thrown off the cliff, it's all fascinating. And then even when she's like, she jumped, you guys didn't see it. The security lady's like,
She's shaking her head like, nah, I got it on camera, homie.
I see what you did.
So
lady.
she gets arrested, and I kept thinking to myself, I was like, well, I guess that's a good way to commit suicide. And then I was like, because they're talking about her
Yeah.
death or whatever, I was like, oh, so she died like her mom. Like, I guess that's kind of cool. Jasper's probably going to be sad she killed herself, but whatever. And then she comes out on the freaking, what do you call that, a parachute? I was like, are you kidding
She
me?
designed a skirt parachute.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, and
A little dramatic,
and
but
sailed
all right.
down into the water safely. You know, unlike all the other 150 maids that are down at the bottom of that thing.
First
Well, they
off,
should have
that
made-
is not typical of English waters. Okay?
Luis was so mad.
That
He's
cliff
like,
that high,
Uh-huh.
those waters, those waters would be splashing halfway off.
he's like, that was not choppy enough.
Nobody would be able to sit in that rinky little dinky dink boat waiting for her to come down.
And also,
Everybody
it'd probably be pretty rocky down there
Wrinkly-dinky
too,
boat.
right?
Heck of rocky.
Even
That
if
was-
she had a parachute, she still could have hurt herself significantly. Anyway, physics, reality.
Yeah, that
whatever.
was like one of the other things where I was like, okay, whatever.
Come on, you guys.
It's funny because like
Series
Right.
of unfortunate events going on or something.
yeah,
Probably.
there's like some cartoony elements in this movie, and I think a lot of them played pretty well for the most part. But like when the dogs kill the mom in the beginning of the movie, I'm like, what is happening? Because it had
Yeah,
seemed
I didn't like that.
fairly real up until that point, and that was like a big cartoony thing. And then there's a couple of other fairly cartoony things, like even the moths, which is really cool. It's kind of cartoony as it's happening. That they've been sitting in there and then they all come out at the same time. You know, they're not just asleep or dead in the vault or whatever. But overall, I think the movie does a really good job of kind of grounding this original cartoon story into,
Yeah.
into something real.
I also kept telling Andre, I was like, that's Anita. It's Anita. And I was like, that lawyer's Roger. It's Roger and Anita.
Right.
And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's Roger and Anita.
I wasn't
I
thinking.
called out Roger. I was like, oh, that's.
I wasn't thinking too deeply about like 101 Dalmatians, but also I was thinking that this took place like 20 to 30 years before
I see.
101
no,
Dalmatians.
Andre for some reason thought Cruella is like
I thought
50 or
Cruella's
60.
in her 50s. I thought she was like the Baroness's age in
Oh,
101
sure.
No,
Dalmatians.
she's only like 30. She does ugly in that movie.
She's just
Okay.
got evil age on
Yeah,
her or
she's
whatever.
just
you
crazy
know?
looking.
So I was
Well,
thinking.
sometimes when you smoke a lot, you be looking hella
Yeah.
old.
It's true.
I
That's
was,
true.
I was thinking that like Roger and Anita would be kids at this point, and then they'd grow up. They'd get the grandkids of those Dalmatians, and then that would be Pongo and Perdita. or
Pergo,
whatever.
Pongo, and Perdita.
Pergo.
So they have the
Yeah.
house now, and she's there, and she has the dogs and
Well,
everything.
she had her
and
funeral.
Yes,
Yeah, that
she had
was
the funeral for
dramatic.
Estella that Horace is crying at.
Stella is dead.
He's like,
And
"It's so
Jasper's
sad."
like, she's right there, man. He's like, this is so sad.
Come on, wink. So yeah, that happens, and that her narration ends.
Yeah, and then she sends Anita and Roger some of the puppies.
sends
I was
the puppies
confused
from the
about Roger.
Dalmatians.
Why Roger? Like,
He was the lawyer.
but
I don't know.
they
Did she get
never
him-
said a single
Honestly,
word.
I think they had 101 puppies, so she had to give a lot of puppies away.
No.
Probably.
In-
No, not Pongo and Perdita have the puppies.
Pongo and Perdita have the puppies, and they only have 15, and then the rest of the puppies
Or just
are
strays.
strays. The other
Oh,
like
that's right.
85 Dalmatians or whatever.
That's right,
Are
that's
just
right.
strays that they adopted.
Wait, no. They're yeah, they are strays because Cruella had been.
She had been collecting them.
Accumulating.
Yes, she's been getting as many puppies as humanly possible. I'm telling you, Jasper and Horace, they're good at the jobs. They be collecting the puppies. Okay, they do good.
Cruella de
How
Vil.
many Tottenham Dalmatian fans you think are out there?
I don't know.
I saw a Dalmatian
Too
in
many.
San Diego when we were there. I was like, babe, look at Dalmatian. But like those
hecka cute,
dogs,
They're pretty.
like we should be like full disclosure. People should not just be owning Dalmatians. Like those are one of the hardest dogs to take care
Well,
of
unless you have like
all day, every day to spend with your dog.
I guess, yeah. I
You're-
mean, I don't know what kind of care they require.
A lot of care.
One of my
And they have a lot of
neighbors-
health problems too.
One of my neighbors, when I was a kid, had like a Great Dane Dalmatian. Like it was gigantic. I was under 10. I definitely could have easily rode that dog like it was a horse. It was so big. And even now, I bet it's probably not alive anymore. But I could probably still fit. You know what I'm saying? He was huge. So I've always thought Dalmatians were cool. And most of it stems from 101 Dalmatians and just being a fan of that movie or whatever.
So they go back to the Hellman estate, and
Yes, she redesigns it a little bit.
she tears off the men, and it's just the Hell estate or the
Yes.
Hell.
Right. She also starts
Hell,
driving
whatever.
a DeVille and calls herself Cruella DeVille. It's like
Fantastic.
devil, but it's pronounced DeVille. Freaking Horace, he's getting me the entire time, man.
It says that the AKC reports Dalmatian is an extremely high energy dog and needs lots of daily exercise. They love going on walks and long runs. For long distances. According to the Dalmatian Advice Center, stubbornness is a common temperament issue for a high maintenance breed. So you have to train them when they're really young. So what happens is people get these dogs and they're tearing up stuff and they're stubborn and they're like, I don't want this Dalmatian
So they
anymore.
take them back.
And so they take them back. So that's why they're like, don't get that dog unless you're like ready to train. Just like a husky.
Sure.
I feel like a husky's similar. Like you
have-
shouldn't get a husky. If
We
you
had a
don't
husky
have-
when I was growing up as
the
well.
same thing, right? That happened to you guys?
Yeah, she was not very well behaved, but I wasn't thinking because I was only like 7 or 8 at the time. But like, she's an Alaskan dog hanging out in the Central Valley of California. Like, it's
But
not a fun
my
experience.
friend Michelle Rocha, she has a husky, and she said she will never get another husky
Right.
because it's such high care. You know,
Yeah, dog stuff.
there's
dude.
certain dogs like that where they.
Luis's
hard to
dad
take
has
care
a
of.
husky and literally does nothing with it, but
He's a
the,
great dog. with
the dog
kids.
is
But
great with our
maybe,
kids,
but
though.
he probably trained him well.
no.
Oh, really?
Does
Really?
nothing with that dog.
Oh, interesting.
No.
That's so interesting.
He's out here like, go flip the tacos, Togo.
Togo.
Maybe
Don't
he.
you remember the Togo story?
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a lot of dogs like that, like Australian Shepherds, Border Collies, all those like really high energy dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog has high energy, but it's great.
But
like,
he's-
Ollie literally,
he's chill.
yeah, she's on the floor crawling all over the grass, and the dog just goes, licks her, sniffs her, and then continues on. Like,
Well, they have a lot of space, right? Like they have a backyard.
no.
Not enough.
But you couldn't have a Dalmatian in an apartment, is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
Like, think of my
Anita
sisters.
does,
Think
and
of
Roger
Jake.
does, I guess.
Think of Jake, my sister's dog.
Stupid.
Yeah.
He's way too big
It's
for.
a
yeah.
big boy.
I was saying Anita and Roger are stupid, not that Nikki's stupid.
Right.
Just want to throw that out.
So yeah, that's the post-credit scene, by the way, is Anita and Roger getting their puppies, and Roger singing the original Cruella DeVille song, which is cool. I mean, in terms of like Cruella DeVille lore, the song is my favorite part.
Oh, for sure.
Him just tinkling away at the piano about how much he hates this lady is like my favorite part of 101 Dalmatians.
It says Dalmatians are aggressive dogs. It says that they have.
She's still going, y'all.
Sorry.
They'll
They
push
have-
a lady off of a cliff.
They have a low tolerance for boredom and can be very destructive if ignored. It says they're stubborn, high maintenance breeds. Their
like
major
we're describing
temperament
me and
issue
Nicole.
is separation anxiety. So if they have a
Same.
lot of separation anxiety, they become aggressive. They might develop habits such as growling, biting, jumping, and snapping if you don't keep their behavior in check.
So the Baroness just let
Maybe
them do
she
what they
just
wanted
didn't
and then
train.
killed them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Baroness just didn't train her Dalmatians.
And then was
Right.
like, all right, but you also can kill. How about that?
Yeah, attack.
Uh-huh. Dude, this movie was so good. So what did people think about it?
Well,
Give a little waste.
this movie just came out, right?
Oh, I'll make a comment. I'm sorry. I read that I think 32% more people watched Mulan opening weekend than this one. And I think what happened is Mulan must have let people down, so they were like, I'm not going to watch Cruella. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's
Which kind of
definitely-
sucks because Cruella was way better.
That's definitely a possibility. But at the same time, Mulan only came out on Disney Plus, but Cruella came out on Disney Plus and is in theaters. So it made some money.
So maybe people were going to the theater instead.
These past 2 weekends, you know. It came out against A Quiet Place Part 2, which is also playing in theaters right now. So let's see here. It had a budget of $100 million. And in
Or it should have had a $101 million.
Dang.
Put 1 million more.
Disney, you guys messed up. Spend $1 million more dollars.
Like you had one job there.
for real. Like what are you doing? Accountants?
That's so funny.
We gotta shave off this $1 million. So according to this website, worldwide it has made a box office of $87 million in its first 2 weeks. But that second week is the weekend. Yeah, it's not over. Sunday is today that we're recording this. So those numbers from this weekend haven't really been reported yet. I'd assume that they've made back their budget at least for the movie, and maybe over time between theaters and Disney Plus, they'll end up making like $200 to $300 million.
Right.
It was a great movie, man.
I thought it was really good. So on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has a 74% on the scale, with a 97% audience score, which is pretty good.
It's really
Which
good.
has gone up because when I looked a couple days ago, it was lower.
Oh, okay.
The audience score was lower.
So
it was like
on-
in the 80s or something.
On Rotten Tomatoes now, at least for this movie, there's a critics consensus and an audience consensus. So the
Do
critics
they not usually have an audience consensus?
No, it normally doesn't. I don't know why it.
Do you think that's a new thing or just a?
I think it's
some movies
probably
thing?
a new thing for like new movies. I don't know if they'll go back and add these for older ones. But the critics' consensus says Cruella can't quite answer the question of why its title character needed an origin story, but this dazzling visual feast is awfully fun to watch whenever its leading ladies lock horns, which I agree with. And then the audience consensus says, with dazzling costumes, a great soundtrack, and a pair of terrific performances from Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, Cruella shows a classic character in an interesting new light. So
So what
Yeah,
was the
dude,
first
Emma
sentence?
Stone was legit.
The first
as
sentence that they
Baroness.
didn't give us a reason for having a.
yeah, it
movie?
says it can't quite answer the question of why its title character needed an origin story,
Not Emma Stone.
but everything about the movie is good.
The other girl.
Because
Emma
they
Thompson.
can.
I know that's kind
Yeah.
of bizarre because.
Why do we make other live action things?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, yeah,
who needed a Maleficent movie
Right.
about her being a sprite?
I didn't.
I think you kind of can't ever win with a prequel to something that didn't appear to need a prequel. You know,
It's because bitch love villains. Sorry,
it's okay.
that's why though.
But yeah,
everybody loves a good villain.
and I agree. Like honestly, they could keep going this route where it's just like the villain origin story or a story from the villain's perspective, based on the classic movies that we love. Like I
would prefer
I could
it
watch
over-
a Ursula movie. I could watch a Scar movie. I could watch a
Tell me you
Jafar
wouldn't
movie.
prefer
All those would
that
be
I
cool.
love villains.
prefer that over like a new like live action Little Mermaid.
Right.
Like
that's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
want to see just a regular live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
No, but if it was like an Ursula origin story, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this is the way to do it. These
But
they're
I
able
like
to tell.
villains.
Well, yeah, but they're able to tell more interesting stories.
Like I'm trying to have a Ratigan backstory.
Oh,
okay.
dude, Ratigan.
But he's a rat.
He's like, I got my hat here at this hat shop for rats.
You watch Ratatouille and you liked it? It's about a
To
rat.
the wrong piece of cheese because I'm a street rat.
Street
Now
rat.
I am upset with the world.
So let's give our
Or like
ratings.
a Queen of Hearts backstory.
Oh, well,
okay.
yeah, that'd be cool too.
You know what though? No, we did it with Maleficent. All right, whatever.
What?
I was gonna say I like more real life origin stories than.
Then
But then we had Maleficent, so never.
What is
Well,
real
sure,
life?
yeah.
Oh,
sure,
you
sure.
mean because Maleficent's not?
And the Queen
It's-
of the Hearts is not
it's
really.
it's all
Well, yeah.
fantastical.
Well, yeah, because those are fantasy stories. Like
No,
Cruella, even though, I mean, it's not really fantasy.
Yeah,
She
But I mean-
in London killing dogs.
right. Taking them out. So I think I'm gonna give this movie a.
You could do Pinocchio and just have the blue fairy be like. It could be like Absinthe and be like the green fairy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's not gonna be a Disney movie.
Well, you said in Pinocchio. Oh, right. I was thinking the villain in that movie was Monstro. I was like,
Me
yeah, I'll
too.
watch a Monstro movie.
I was like,
Or
oh.
Stromboli.
Hey, look at my puppets. So that I don't pay.
What is that guy's name? Honest John? The little
Yeah,
fox
Honest John,
thing?
the fox guy. Yeah. So for Cruella, I think I'm gonna give it the rating of an 8.5. It's a really good movie, really strong. Lots of great performances. As I said, the soundtrack is off the hook. I'm telling you, there's banger after banger after banger on that soundtrack. And then
And they're good renditions. Like if they're not this, if they're not the original, it's a good rendition.
Yes, exactly. And I think Emma Stone is just giving it her all in this. Yeah, I've always liked her as an actor. I like her in basically everything that she's in, and this is just another one to add to the list of her good movies. Although she's in those Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I don't necessarily love those, but that's spider reasons. You know. Anyway, Michelle.
I'm definitely going to give this movie a 9. It is one of the live action. I'm not even going to call it a remake. It's an original adaptation of a retelling, a reimagining, like how Maleficent was. And that's kind of why I like Maleficent better than the other ones. And that's kind of why I like this one better than the other one. So 9 out of 10, and I want to watch it again.
Okay.
Emily?
I just realized you can't have a Queen of Hearts movie because they already did a live action Alice in
They
Wonderland.
did.
Yeah,
Alice.
exactly.
But
But
I mean,
those
they
are
could-
dope too.
They could recast it. They could do a different style. It wouldn't be directed by Tim Burton, and her head wouldn't
Freaking
be as
Helena
big.
Bellina up in here. With
Yeah,
a
Helena
big old head.
Bellina.
Over the head.
Over the head.
Jeez, why am I so into that? Okay, anywho, I'm gonna give it a 9 too.
9.
I will watch this again. Luis definitely asked to watch it like 3 times since then.
Yeah.
Did the
Every
kids
night, I
watch
feel
it?
like. No.
It's a bit intense.
It's kind of intense. I think the dogs
Yeah.
would freak them
It's
out.
PG-13, right?
But then Luis is over
Yes.
here having them watch Legends of Korra with all their
That's
freaking.
not that bad.
Oh, it's pretty.
No.
No. People getting
Anywho.
They can probably handle
blood bended and stuff.
Blood banded.
Blood bended.
There's fires all over the place. No, I'm gonna give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, if they come out with a soundtrack, I'll be buying the soundtrack. And yeah,
Luis?
I really enjoyed it.
10.
10.
Dang.
Out of 10.
He came out with a straight 10.
Dang.
Nice.
Really, really loved it. Like we can't badmouth this one.
Yeah. And are you like a big Emma Stone fan, or do you think it's just this movie?
Yeah,
You're medium on her, but
I don't got
but
an
it-
opinion on her to be honest.
Gotcha.
So I can't go either way.
but in this you liked her,
she was great.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. Don't get me wrong.
right?
You know what I really like is I think the costuming is my favorite part.
Oh,
but
yeah.
her hair
Mhm.
in like the red hair.
Yes.
It's not really red. It's like mahogany.
It's a very deep
Like,
red.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Mhm.
Like, because some actresses, when they change hair colors, it doesn't work for them.
Right.
But, like, she's got that Nicole Kidman thing where, like, you could be blonde or brunette or
And
red
I think
or whatever.
she is like a natural redhead, right? It's not.
Oh, I
it's
think
obviously
she
not that deep red, but
right.
but yeah.
No, you're right. I guess she does have red hair normally. But anywho, the color of her hair in that, because it's so contrasted with
The black and
like
white.
the black and white, they did good with that.
Yeah.
Because they could have come out with something even weirder, like
Yeah, I
black
mean, they
with
could've-
hot pink streaks or something.
Right. They could have done
it was fantastic.
anything crazy for these Gen Zs.
Or what if they would have done like a black and yellow or black and green or something instead of black and white?
They could have done a couple of variations.
Because
throughout
when
the
they're
movie.
doing like punk, they could have taken it like over the top.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. The movie.
Even though I agree that it is weird that she popped out with black and white hair. But I also kind of like the idea of Luis. Like, I'm surprised you said it. Like, if you're going to make a statement, you got to pop out with a statement.
Right.
Oh.
Be born with it.
Oh.
Keep underestimating me, world.
I almost wish that like she would have had like two opposite eyes or something too. I don't know. I kind of want her to be like
I kinda
Two-Face.
wanted her to look like Grindelwald.
yeah, like a big bright yellow eye and a big dark eye or something like that. I don't know. But it
Yeah,
would
but
have
then
been
how
cool.
would they have had her to be disguised? Like, she
Yeah,
put in contacts all
I
the time?
guess, in the 60s.
Who knows?
These
Ew.
colorful contacts. So yeah, that's Cruella.
We
Jolly
like-
good. I think I definitely recommend it. What do you guys think about there being like a sequel? You think they
Nah.
You think they will do one, and would you watch one?
I don't need it.
Yes, they probably will.
Mhm.
Not like right away, but I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be over the top because that's
Yes.
how I feel about the Maleficent one. Like when they said they were coming out with a second one, I was like, I really liked the first one, but like, where are they going to go with it?
Right.
And the story was just too much.
I don't need it.
Too much.
Sometimes they just always want to make sequels to things, and I don't understand it. Like, we don't need it.
No.
You know, like, I'm fine with one. Will they probably do it? Probably, but I don't need it.
I mean, we'll watch it because we have to.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't
We're
particularly like
Contractually obligated at this
Like,
point to watch that movie.
Then it's just going to be silly because it's going to be 101 Dalmatians.
Right. It's gonna
You know?
be her interacting with that Roger and that Anita.
Why are you trying
in
to steal
this-
Pongo and Perdita back?
in
I don't
this
know.
world? Yeah, she just gave those dogs away. You think she's gonna try to steal them and rip them to shreds?
So
to
I
make a
hope
coat
they
or
don't.
whatever?
like a weird back and forth between her and Jasper, like trying to be together, not being
Sure.
together, or something like that.
Yeah, you know, it could go in a weird, possibly odd sequel direction. Like Maleficent 2, which I think we all mostly agreed was pretty good, I still don't think was as good as the first
No,
one.
No.
definitely not.
And it's because they kind of had to make those interesting story decisions that definitely don't line up with the original Sleeping Beauty, right?
No.
But they make sense in the world of
Yeah,
the
they have to
Maleficent.
take it like in a. I mean, I get it; it's a reimagining, but like,
right.
I don't know if it's necessary.
They're going heavy in their own direction, which
Plus,
is fine,
and now
I
that I'm
guess.
really thinking about it, they already have a live action 101 Dalmatians.
correct.
Like,
They've
you
got
don't-
two of them. There's 101 and 102.
I
Oh.
love both of them.
Well, I've never
Glenn
seen
Close.
102, but now it's like, how many you need?
We don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? How can I even ask that question? How many pirates do you need?
Apparently 5 or 6. You know, still trying to make
I'm
more of
not
those
saying
bad
I'm not
boys.
mad because I like 3, and I like the one that Luis likes that's like 85. But
Yeah.
Dude, at least it's not
All
a
the
Fast
ones
and
in
the
between.
Furious series.
Hey,
like.
let's go! Fast 9 coming out at the end of this month, baby. Gang, gang.
I mean, don't
Family.
get me wrong. I like all the actors, but no.
I am Vin Diesel.
Stop, Vin Diesel.
He's Groot.
he's Cruz.
So yeah, that's Cruella. I do recommend it. Next time we are going to be going back to Puppies and Kitties. We're going to be talking about the 1988 animated movie
I just started liking it less. There you go.
Aw.
Oliver and Company.
Why should I worry? Why should I care?
Yeah. So we're gonna be
Truth.
getting
Why should I care?
into some sweet Billy Joel nonsense
Contractual. apparently. That's why.
in Oliver and Company, and
Can I
in,
have some more, please?
in the future, you know, we might return to pirates. We might return to some 101 Dalmatians. Who knows what the future holds? Let us know what you want us to watch by dropping a line in our comments and stuff like that.
Do it.
Speaking of which, you can find us on the internet. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit us up. Slide into our DMs. We are available to talk to you. We want to know about your opinions on this brand new Cruella movie. Did you like it? Do you think Emma Stone's a good Cruella? Is she better than Glenn Close? And you know, do you like this interpretation of her evilness? Because I still like. I really like this movie all the way around. But I don't think it would have bothered me if she had killed a dog or two, you know, especially the ones that specifically killed her mom or
No.
whatever.
She's going around. She's like, "Oh, the
No,
one
but
who
those dogs
you
didn't kill
killed
her
my
mom.
mom." Yeah, she did.
I mean, yeah, they did.
No. They didn't just, get up from there now and be like, oh, let's go kill that peasant in the hill. No. They forced him to.
Right. It was the
Go kill
Baroness.
It's like the whole argument that all pit bulls are bad. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those ones are.
They're not.
But she had snapped at that point. So once again, it wouldn't have surprised me if she had driven to her evil a little bit more and done a little bit of puppy murder.
I won't
but
lie. I'm glad she did not because I'm
overall,
not cool with puppy murder.
It's probably better that she didn't. Yeah.
I mean, as a Disney movie.
I don't like puppy murder either, so.
We are against puppy murder here at the Walt Vault, and we hope you are too. Send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. You want to get your message read on the show. Sign up.
You're also against puppy murderness.
Yeah,
nice.
let us know if you're against puppy murder or not. And check us out on patreon.com/thewaltvault. We have extra content there, and it helps support us, keeps the lights on. We have merch available on Bonfire, and we want you to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify and all the places that you get podcasts. It helps us out. All right, you guys, we'll see you next time for some Oliver and Company goodness. The vault is now closed.